After you, Coach.
Can I move this? That good? You ready?
Ready to roll.
All right.
FIU head coach Mike MacIntyre, you want to make an opening statement?
Yes, I would. Thanks, guys, for being here. This is always an exciting day. I always call it Christmas, and because this is your future, and signing day is, and it's kind of different now than it used to be. There's two of them. There's used to be one. So I'm still excited about today and all that transpired. First of all, I'd like to thank. There's so many people, I can't thank them all. It'd take the whole time, the whole press conference, but to put everything together like we have in the last 5.5 to 6 weeks has been amazing. Our recruiting staff has been phenomenal. Our ops staff has been incredible. Coaching staff has worked tirelessly. Everybody that's helped us throughout the university has been exemplary. And I can't tell you how much support we've had with this university, with our athletic department, and everybody diving in to help us. So I'm just so thankful for that. We have a total class of 27 kids right now that have signed over the 2 signing periods, and in our, with the new transfer world that everybody talks about and loves to see, that was something that we dove into hard. And we had a small window from when the dead period was until we started on January 10th getting young men in school, and everybody at the university was a huge help for that. In our signees right now, we have 13 high school grads, 14 transfers, and 13 of those 27 signees are from the state, play high school football in the state of Florida, which was very, very important to us. And we still have some availability to try to get some young men in here by the time we start in August with our scholarship numbers. And we're trying to get to 85. It's going to be hard for us, but we'll find some ways to be able to try to get there. So we're working on that hard. On what we did, just a little quick overview. We signed 14 offensive players, 2 quarterbacks, Gunnar Holmberg and Amari Jones, running back Antonio Patterson, 4 wide receivers, Jalen Bracey, Sherrod Johnson, Jacoby Hewitt, Mike Jackson, 1 tight end, Josiah Mayman, and 6 O-linemen. And so we're excited about those guys and what they have to offer for us. Defensively, we signed 11 young men right now, 3 D linemen, 4 linebackers, 2 outside linebackers, 2 inside backers, and then we signed 3 corners, 1 safety, and then we signed specialists. We had lost our punter here, and we had lost also our long snapper, who was an excellent long snapper here, had transferred. So we signed a punter and a long snapper, which I'll go over those guys here in a minute. So that's kind of the overview of our signees, and it's been inspiring watching everybody work, and it's been inspiring signing these young men. I tell you, the thing that I thought was really, really neat was how our players here on campus dove into helping us recruit. So when you bring young men on campus, you have players host them. They're around them. They're at games. They're at events. They're at things on campus. And our players here really dove into helping us recruit those young men, and were very, very professional, very inspirational, and it was a big, big boost for us to be able to sign some of these young men. So I'll take any questions at this time.
Coach Eric Henry, SB Nation.
Yeah. Hey,
Start
Eric.
off here. I believe you had the signing this week. You had the last weekend you signed 4 players from that incoming official visit. How crucial was it to kind of build those relationships with the kids in South Florida and kind of show from a local perspective what it is you're doing here at FIU?
Yes, it was. It's a big deal for us, and we want to be able to dive into South Florida. I call South Florida in-state, and I call outside of Broward County and the other parts of the state our out-of-state area. We're going to comb the state. We're going to comb the state. And as we got going here, it was a little different for us this year, starting it off, because our roster was so depleted that we needed to get some young men in here in January for spring practice to prepare our team. So we did that hard, and then we dove hard into in-state area, especially Broward and Dade County. the other thing that was a little bit of a hamper to us is this year on the calendar we only had 2 weeks. Usually you have 3 weeks. So that was a hamper to us as far as being able to get out. But our coaches staff worked tirelessly day in and day out, and we were able to comb, especially Broward and Dade County, pretty well. And we're excited about the young men we got and prospects for in the future also.
Follow up on that. I believe you said it was 13 you signed. You came from JUCO or transfer. How important is it to get those guys who have experience, and then is it a situation where you think those guys will be able to step in and play immediately?
Yes, it's very important to get guys with experience, and we sign those guys to plan on them playing pretty quick. And with the depth in our program, where we're trying to build our roster back, all the roster management you hear talked about today, those were key ingredients. It's kind of like you're saying, like people are saying, it's kind of like NFL free agency. We had to fill some immediate holes to be able to have a football team that we thought could compete for championships and play well in the Conference USA, and that's what the route we took. And then we wanted to definitely get into the high schools, especially in South Florida, and we worked hard at that, doing that. We feel like we made some good inroads. Some of the guys that I've hired on the staff know everybody in the area, and that's been a big help to us and will be a bigger help to us in the future.
Coach, 2 things for me initially. First of all, you said you got 27, and when we had talked, you said 32 is what you thought you'd be able to bring. So can we expect 5 more is my first question. And secondly, can you go over the quarterbacks, Gunner and also the young
Well, one of the young men was on our roster that we signed, Pierce Withers. We signed him, who played for us. He was a walk-on last year. We went ahead and signed, so he counts in that, so he would be the 28th. And then we will end up getting 4 more sometime between now and August, and so we're working on that hard.
And then the follow-up question, can you talk about the QBs, Gunner and Amari?
Yes. Gunner's here on campus. We've seen him in the weight room. We've seen him, doing agilities and different things like that. We're really excited about Gunner. He's a young man that, started at Duke, played well at Duke. He's very athletic, can run, do a lot of things, so we're excited about him. Amari is an excellent athlete. He's a starter on the basketball team. Very good athlete, big arm. We think both of those guys are dual threat type guys that we want in our program.
Coach, I'll follow the next one. Talk about Nair Jackson a little bit.
Yeah.
Got gained some interest late from Syracuse,
Yeah.
and also DJ Aiken, those 2 young men.
Right. Yeah. Nair Jackson, they call him Big Philly. So he is a phenomenal offensive lineman. That was a place that we were depleted at on our team. We only had 6 offensive linemen on scholarship when we got here. And so that's an area we needed to find guys, and we were excited to find Nair over at Killian. And he's athletic, big body. He looks like he's 6'8" when he walks in the door, but he's 6'5 and a half. He's 335 pounds, very athletic, very nimble on his feet, and we're excited about him. We thought that was a big get. Coach Austin did a great job recruiting him.
And then also follow up on Aiken from South
Aiken.
Carolina.
Aiken's long, athletic. He was a young man that we had connections with people in South Carolina. We got on him right when I got here, and he wanted to play in Miami, in the area of Miami. He was excited about Florida International, and he is 6'3.5". He's 250 pounds right now. He's athletic. He's the kind of defensive lineman you're looking for. Long, length, can play multiple spots on the front, and I look for him to play as a true freshman for us.
Coach, you mentioned special teams. How did you find the punter from Australia and also the long snapper? How hard is it to find?
So the punter from Australia, Johnny, is the guy that works over there. He sent I don't know, hundreds of young men over here. You see them throughout the NFL. You see them throughout college. And I've signed guys from Johnny before. So Johnny said, hey, I got a guy for you. So we watched the film on him. He's 6'4". He's 230 pounds. He can punt it. I mean, it's like a howitzer when it goes. So we're excited about him. And then the long snapper, that kind of came up at the very last minute because our long snapper that was here had another year, and he was on scholarship, and then he decided we were talking to him, and at the last second he decided he was going to go. So when that happened, I had been looking at long snappers foreseeing that he might leave, and we were able to sign Jackson Lee from Phoenix, Arizona area. His high school football coach played for me at UT Martin. I know him really, really well. He's an excellent athlete. He played tight end too, long snapper, can snap it, and can run, be athletic, he'll be a guy that can actually cover as a long snapper also. They're going to have to be able to pick him up and block him and cover him. So I'm very excited about Jackson Lee.
Coach,
Yes.
so aside from South Florida, how many players did you sign that came from other parts of the United States and even across the world?
Yes. Well, that's a great question. So we have South Carolina, Mississippi, Australia, let's see, Memphis, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Tennessee, let's see, Iowa, Virginia, Texas, Michigan, and then Australia.
That's awesome. And just a follow-up question: between offense, defense, or special teams, what position did you feel was the most difficult to recruit, and which position, or on the opposite, did you feel you had the most players that wanted to play here?
Right. I think they're all positions are kind of difficult to recruit. It just depends on the situation that you're in. But quarterback is the area you're always trying to find all the intangibles. So you really dive into that. You dive into all the positions hard, but that position you really only usually sign one a year. And so we were able to get a transfer guy and a freshman. So that's an area that you're always key on deciphering, looking at, understanding it. And you want a leader, you want an athlete, you want someone that can communicate, you want someone that you don't have to worry about academics at all. That's an area that is an expertise area that you're looking for. So to me, you kind of dissect that one a little bit more. It's also an area where everybody's trying to get them. Now, there's an interesting deal right now, though. I'm not going to tell you the exact numbers, but you can look it up. I think 3 years ago, before COVID, before transfer portal, all that, 150-ish quarterbacks were signed in Division I. Then the COVID year, everything started hit. I think it went down to like 100. And this year it's like in the 70s because of the transfer portal and all that. So I feel like there's some excellent young quarterbacks out there that and Amari, I think, is one of them, would have had multiple offers. He had offers, but a guy that's 6'4", plays basketball, 4.0 student, can throw it, do things. We were excited about him sitting there right now at this time.
Hey, Coach, can you have more detail about the receivers you brought in, guys like Jalen Bracey and Tony?
Yes. Okay. Jalen Bracey is quick as lightning. He is an excellent slot receiver. If you pull up his huddle highlight tape, you'll be blown away about his quickness, his athletic ability. He's an excellent player. Let me get back to make sure I don't miss anybody here. Sherrod Johnson is from right here in Booker T, Washington. That was an interesting deal. After I got the job, he was leaving there, and I kind of got a call that he wanted to come back this way after he went into the portal, and so I know some other people were talking to him, and he wanted to come here and play. We're excited about him. He's able to stretch the field, has played a lot of ball in the ACC. He's done well there. Jacoby Hewitt is from Memphis, Tennessee, Cordova High School. Was a return specialist, fly sweep guy for Indiana, did a lot of great things. Knew a little bit about him when I got here, and he was excited about coming to Miami and play. And then Mike Jackson, to me, is electrifying. He's taken 14 kicks and punts back in his career. He's also dynamic. He was the defensive player of the year. We're going to play him at receiver, but he was the defensive player of the year. So that shows you his toughness, his ability to go find a football, his ability to love playing football. Really excited about his explosiveness on the football field. And more of those type of guys. He's only 5'7", 5'8", but in the NFL, you're seeing those guys make plays in space. I say if you can't touch them, you can't tackle them. And that's kind of how I see Mike Jackson.
Coach,
Plus, it's funny, I've coached a James Brown, and now I've coached a Michael Jackson. So I can
Coach, piggyback off something you mentioned to Walter. You talked about the condensed timeline. What's the biggest challenge? What was the biggest challenge in trying to recruit with that
Well,
condensed
our
timeline?
biggest challenge was getting everything evaluated fast enough. I mean, you get so many emails, you get so many kids to look at. All the coaches are calling you, which they should be, all the high school coaches, because they know we just got here and we hadn't signed that many people. So trying to decipher all that. And I thought we did a good job of that. You always could do a better job. There's, coaches have called us about other guys, and, we had to do it fast. We had to do it quick. We had to get them, signed by signing date type thing. And then that also gives us a little bit of time after signing date now to still kind of look and be able to look. Now, it's a dead period in February, so it's a little bit harder. but we are, still going to be on the outlook for players to be able to put into the roster, going into fall camp.
And to follow up on that, you mentioned Pierce Withers. Just want to talk about how that came about a little bit.
Yeah.
You're the son of a coach. Your
Right.
kids played.
Yeah, exactly. I know kind of the situation Pierce is in, for sure. And I watched the tape on him the year before. He was a good player for him, made a lot of plays, did a lot of things. He's a good student. And then I saw the people leaving, and I saw the things we had, and I wanted to be able to keep him. And so I talked to him, and we signed him to a scholarship. I think he's been watching him in the weight room, watching him do physical activities outside with the agilities and different things. I'm glad we did. And he's an excellent leader, and he helped us a lot in recruiting also. He really did.
Anything else, guys?
Any other questions?
Coach, one more on
Yeah.
coach's stuff, if you don't mind. Just talking about how
You've been hitting the weight
now
room.
they're
You've been hitting the weight room, haven't you? Look at
Yes,
that,
man.
man. Look at that. Wow,
You gotta keep up with
man.
Walton. He's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, exactly.
It's all this
Is
guy
that
right
like
here.
is that, you got, what is the shirt, like an extra large shirt with extra small
That's
sleeves?
a small shirt.
Okay, all right, I like
I don't have
it.
any snaps left. For you. Washed up fullback.
Okay, all right.
No, some of the coaching staff, Coach Harrison came together. I was wondering if you could talk about when you were at Memphis, you were the 3-4 guy. And
Right.
obviously, bringing, Coach, as far as Coach DeWitt, as far as the
Yeah.
defensive coordinator position, how you kind of see those two things melding together as far as your approach on defense.
Yeah, Coach DeWitt has a great history on defense and also great history in recruiting Broward County. He knows everybody there, and really excited about that aspect of it. And he loves South Florida and coached at a few different places down here, and so I'm excited about what he brings. But their system that he's been under with Bateman, Coach Bateman, because we have wherever I've been, we've kind of done clinics, the 3-4 clinics and that type of thing. And they were the Coach Bateman, who he worked with at North Carolina and other places, is in that same kind of tree. Javon knows that tree. But it's interesting. The 3-4, the 4-3. If you're watching what's going on in college football now and in the NFL, you can't just stay in a 4 down front or a 3 down front. You have to mix it up some. With the offensive of what they're doing, they spread you out, and then they bring people back in tight. You have to be able to adapt, and I think Javon understands how to do all of that, and extremely intelligent. So I was really excited about getting Javon to do that, and he'll do an excellent job with the defense.
Coach, how many kids, the freshmen, how many of them are in early for spring, if any?
Yes, we have a couple of guys. Not any freshmen.
No freshmen.
Let me make sure I'm saying that correctly. All of our guys were transfers that came in early for spring.
Okay, and then how many players do you think roundabout you'll have for spring
Right now we
with
have,
those transfers?
Ryan, how many we have right now?
We have 88 right now.
88 with walk-ons and everybody.
Okay. And scholarships?
Scholarships, with what we have signed, right, we can get to, with signing, we'll get to around 83. And then we'll see what we can do after that, and see if we sign any walk-ons, if we do any other type of things like that.
And also, back to the quarterback, Amari Jones, I was reading about him a little bit, that he switched schools and a little bit and stuff like that. When did you find out about how long you've been recruiting him?
So when we got here, I was watching the different quarterbacks in the state of Florida, guys that were ranked high and different things. Started looking at them, and Amari's one that I really liked on film. And then when I hired Coach Yost, he looked through them and he really liked Amari too. And so then we started recruiting him and talked to him, went and saw him when we could at school those couple weeks, and just kept recruiting him, working, and it all worked out. We were excited we were able to, because he had quite a few other schools looking at him.
Because so most of these guys were guys that were new to you. In other words, they weren't from your previous stop, where
Right.
you just had to get on these guys brand new.
Yes, exactly. We had to get on them brand new, and we were working at it as hard as we could. Yeah.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about Donovan Manuel, someone that
Yes.
had a lot of success at the FCS level. Let's talk about him a little bit as a player.
Yeah, so we looked at Donovan on film hard there from East Tennessee State University. Made a lot of plays, and he was all over the field. He's a big linebacker, big inside linebacker, very physical, very, very bright, and we were really excited about getting him. We feel like that he'll be able to line up at the inside backer spot and make a lot of plays and be an excellent player for us.
then one last follow-up on the coaching staff. So I asked Scott this question earlier. Talk about the continuity when you have the three guys who all were at UCF together, and Coach Bell, and Coach Hewitt, and also Coach Austin. Is that something that matters with you have that kind of?
Yeah, when you're putting a staff together, you kind of talk to different people and you look at different things, and sometimes it kind of works out that way. One of the things that's good is when you hire one of them, you can, hey, I'm interviewing this guy. Do you know this guy? What do you think about this guy? And so that helps a lot. And all those guys were talking well about each other, which was excellent. But I really putting the staff together, that was again, a whole group effort by the university, helping me kind of jump through different hoops we got to jump through to get people hired that quick, and especially over the Christmas holidays and January, everything's kind of shut down at different times, and so I thought they did a great job helping us do that and work through that. But I'm excited about the staff, and I really when I look at the staff, I'm looking at I look at strengths and weaknesses of different people. I look at what we need on each side of the ball, not only coaching expertise, but also recruiting expertise. And then just also the big question I ask is, do you want to be here? Do you want to be here? All heart, soul, are you all in? Everybody moving here, everybody getting here, everybody buying a house, you going, here we go, that type of attitude. And the people that were kind of hedging on me, I just checked them off, because I want people that want to be here, and they're going to roll their sleeves up, they're going to go to work, and they're going to see it get done. And to me, that's a huge part of the formula when I got here.
And one thing, last coach, besides national signing, a big thing you did was bringing back Tyrese Chambers, who had a race in last year. How did that all fall into place, and how important it is to bring back him?
Yes, it was big. So when I took the job, as quickly as I could, I started getting in contact with all the players, and then I was calling them and talking to them and said, hey, do I need to fly out and see you? No, I'm good. And then Tyrese says, Coach, you need to fly out and see me. So I flew to Baltimore, and I sat there with his mom and him it had to be 3.5 to 4 hours at their house. We had a blast. She fed me, so it was good. So I got a meal out of it. I didn't have to use our per diem because I ate so much at her house. So that was good, and it was a great experience. And sitting right there in the environment and seeing what he was about, meeting the family. I met his sister, his brother, and everybody that was there, and met some nephews and nieces that came over. So it was a good day, and really excited that he came back, and kind of talked to him about what we wanted to do and how we want to do it. And being around Tyrese now that we have, he's sometimes wide receivers get a little bit of the bad rap as far as always being me guys, that type of thing. If you've ever met Tyrese, he loves to talk. He's very communicative. He's trying to do everything he can to use all his resources, but he's a team player. He shows up early for everything. He stays late. He works hard. He's always around the guys. He helps any way he can. He's a truly team guy, which is really exciting to me, because that's extremely important. With the other guys, what I did is I had a meeting here with everybody that could drive to the area. Then I had a meeting in Tampa. I got a hotel and rented out a boardroom and met with families, and kids came there. I went to one in Orlando, did the same thing, drove up to Orlando, drove back, did the same thing in Port St. Lucie. In Port St. Lucie, I went to one of the kids' houses, and all the kids from that area came over. And then I was on the phone. I had multiple Zoom meetings with the players and the parents. So not multiple, I had 2. So I guess you could say I had 2, and then one with the parent type thing. So every way I could to reach out to let them know me, what we're about, what we're trying to do. And then at the same time, wanted them to be able to ask any questions they wanted to ask, so they would be comfortable with their sons playing here. So you're recruiting you're recruiting, you're trying to hire, you're trying to recruit the players you have, you're trying to evaluate, and so it's an interesting time. So it was a lot of fun. To say the least, it was busy, but now it gets busy again. So we'll just keep going. All right, thanks guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.